Coming up outside. Now inside. Christian.
That's why they give you hundreds of pounds. Now you know you're spitting. You got the whole world vibing the same. You ain't doing it to watch the change. You got love for the game.
Welcome to Love of the Game. I'm your host SJ, and we're going to try something different. NBL1 East live recaps, mid-round. Going to talk about everything that happened on Saturday and what's coming up on Sunday, so you guys can tune in every week and just get a recap of NBL1 East, because we've got a cracker product there. We've got some great players. Season's heating up, and a few teams there trying to consolidate their spot in the top 8 and chase those final positions. So let's get to it straight away. Manly Sea Eagles 106 defeating the Penrith Panthers 65. Jonas Harper 25 points, 9 from 12 shooting, and 5 from 6 from 3. And bro, Mason Bragg 19 points, 10 assists, keeping up with his average, and 6 rebounds. And bro, Penrith Panthers, disappointing season so far, 2 wins and didn't look great. My biggest takeaway from this game is I actually got 2, but Matthew Eldridge getting his second dunk, right? Because I was watching a game when I commentated up against Albury, Manly up against Albury, and but he had this opportunity to dunk it and he didn't dunk it. And I looked and I was like, hey, can he dunk it? And now he got 2 in a row. So congrats. Love your game. I love everything you do for that team. Underrated, but I see you, and I think a lot of your teammates appreciate you too. So Matthew Eldridge, take a bow for that dunk. And Mason Bragg, as I said, keeping up with his 10 assist average for the season. And there was one no-look down, I think, to Ermon, who threw it down. And, man, that's what this Manly team's all about. Mason Bragg doesn't chase too many points, but he gets all his teammates involved. And Jonas Harper shooting lights out. I think against Maitland, he got 6 points a few games ago, and then just switched it on. I think the next game was against Albury, shot lights out again and got aggressive early. And I think for Manly to get deep, look, Manly have been my surprise team this season. And watching them play, it's the Mason Bragg, Jonas Harper show. Like, those 2 boys are going to have to deliver week in, week out. And then the other pieces, if they can switch on, get their points, Manly's going to be dangerous in these playoffs. But yeah, Jonas Harper and Mason Bragg, my best backcourt duo of the NBL1 East. So hats off to you guys. And next up, got the Hornsby Coringa Spiders claiming their first win, 81-75 against the Centre of Excellence. Isaiah Walters, 18 points, 4 assists. Aaron Redhead, 16 points, 2 blocks and 1 steals. And look, COE, one of those teams fighting for the top 4, so this was definitely a surprise. COE got production from all 5 starters with Kyle Savage, 17 points and 7 boards. But hey, let's talk about it. Hornsby claiming their first win. Respect to you guys. I'm a Tigers fan, so I know how it is when your team's just suffering. So for you guys, heads up, and hopefully you guys can finish off the season on a run, because look, I've seen some of your work with Silver Slashers. Shout out Silver Slashers. I'm doing great work with their videos. And man, you guys, I've been watching you guys and I've been hoping you guys get a win. So proud that I saw you guys get that win, man. Surprised. Call me the hell off guard, but yeah, respect. Next up, you have the Sydney Comets, 120 defeating Illawarra, 81 points. Bawali Baylors, 24 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, 3 steals, and 1 block, shooting 11 from 16 from the field. And Christian Akuso, 24 points, 11 rebounds, 8 from 9, and 3 from 3 from the three-point line. And 1 thunderous dunk too. Matthew Pearson top scored for Illawarra Hawks, 26 points. Man, he had the green light. 6 from 17 from three-point land. And he played the full 40 minutes. So Matthew Pearson had the green light, man. Must have been feeling like Steph Curry out there, jacking all them threes, looking at the coach going, yeah, good shot. But yeah, the Sydney Comets, man, my biggest takeaway from this is Bawali Baylors is back healthy. And when he's on the court, but he's been doing great things. Averaging 25 points this season when he's been fit. And I know Aubrey Kai was out this game too, so big win for the Sydney Comets, and they have a massive game coming tomorrow. And I'll tell you a bit more about that in a bit. Next up, you got Norths 110 defeating Central Coast Crusaders 100. I'll be honest, when I saw this, I was just looking at Robert Heath and Mandra Worthy. What did they get? How many shots did they take? Because these two teams are ball dominant on those two guys, scoring heavy for them to get the job done. And they both delivered. Manjo Worthy, 24 points. Brendan Reimer, 19 points. And Lewis Holey with the double-double, 16 points and 11 rebounds. And for Central Coast Crusaders, Robert Heath, 28 points, 7 assists, 11 from 17 field goals, and 15 from 17 from the free throw line. So he was getting aggressive. And I want to give a shout out to Robert Heath, because leading scorer in the league at the moment, but he takes a lot of shots. So seeing 11 from 17 and seeing that efficiency up, my hat's off to you. And look, Central Coast Crusaders have had a tough year, but they got the talent there. So hopefully they can kind of get on a bit of a run to end the season because, the talent's there. Ben Stevens, I think, got 23 points. So respect to you guys. My biggest takeaway from this is Norths claiming this victory. Look, they're in a dogfight. I think I'll be honest, in my opinion, the top 7 is pretty much locked in as is. And Bankstown, Sharks, Norths, and Sydney Commons, they're fighting for that last final spot. So this was a big win for them. And Mandra Worthy, man, 24 points is getting the job done, getting some support. Brendan Reimer, Lewis Holey, and that's going to be essential for Norths to get there because they can't just rely on Mandrel, who can get the job done. Next up, you got Maitland Mustangs, 100, defeating the Bankstown Bruins, 87. How good are these Mustangs? William Cranston-Lown, 22 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds, 6 steals, and his customary block. I don't know how this guy gets block every game, but man, some of his blocks are class too. So William Cranston-Lown, love your work. And Matthew Gray, 22 points and 7 rebounds. Andre Wilford, top scored for Bankstown, and this surprised the shit out of me, bro. 18 points, 5 from 7 shooting, 3 from 3. Shoot the ball more, man. Come on, bro. Get it to the hot hand. Andre Wilford's been lights out lately and league leader in 3-point percentage, so definitely another good game for him. And my biggest takeaway from this game is the Mustangs down 14-1. I had William Cranston-Lown on the show previously, and he's talked about his team just knuckling down. They just want to get that W. They're not worried about stats. They're not worried about who gets the points. They just want to get results. And down 14-1. It's good to see how these guys, face these moments because look, back-to-back grand finals. They're chasing that elusive one. And Christian Little, shout out to you. Love watching him play. Came in and said, you know what? I think I'm the missing piece. And I think he is. There was a game against Inner West Bulls that I watched. He was in foul trouble. And I think he played about 3 or 4 minutes, soft fouls, but sat on the bench for a bit. I think came on with like 4 minutes left. And I was just watching him saying, fuck, let's see if he chases his shots. And he never does. Plays a great team role. And as William Cranston told me, bro, best teammate I could have, and you could see it. He always G's his boys up. I think Matthew Gray had a big and one, and Christian Little, first person there, getting in his face, hyping him up. So, big shout out to them. Albury Wodonga Bandits, 94, defeating Newcastle, 88. Kevion Blaylock, 23 points, 10 rebounds. And this is what I love the most. 4 steals and 2 blocks. William Hickey continuing to do what he does. 21 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, 7 steals, and 2 blocks. Leo O'Boyle's top scored for Newcastle with 30 points off the bench. But, man, this Albury team is dangerous. If William Hickey can continue MVP, a lot of people have him as the front runner for MVP. I'm going to talk a bit more about that later, who's my top 5 at the moment, and see where you guys rank them. But my 2 takeaways from this game is Sean Montage. Thank you. He's one of those players that really do excite you in the league when you kind of see that fast break. I think Kevion Blaylock threw the ball up to William Hickey, found the alley-oop, and you just knew Montage was going to dunk it, and he did. Showtime. So respect, and I love the program that Albury Wodonga Bandits have down there. Their female team is on fire. And the boys team, man, if they can get it right, they're going to be up there in the big games. And I just love their sort of squad. I saw their game against Manly, the boys and the girls supporting each other. I think the boys, when the girls were down, I think 5 or 8 points, man, they were G'ing up every single bucket and got them over the line. So love that program over there. My match of the round delivered. The Canberra Gunners 97, defeating the Inner West Bulls 96. Glenn Morrison continuing his rich vein of form, 28 points, 15 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 blocks, 10 from 15 field goals. And his running mate, William Mayfield, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. And this Canberra team is leading the league at the moment. They're on fire. And man, I just love what they can do. They're deep. James Tui, Lachlan Smith, they got Derek, they got Pender, and they don't stress. And if there is a 6-man award, I guess NBL1 East, I don't know if they do 6-man of the year, but Lachlan Smith, that dude is intensity personified. And he shoots lights out. And if Glenn Morrison or William Mayfield have a bad day, he's scoring. You always get his 10 points off the bench, and when required, he can drop at 20, 23 points easy. So Canberra Gunners and Maitland are my top 2 teams at the moment, and fingers crossed the rest of the teams can get there, because it's going to be a great, great race. The last game of the round, for the day, was the Hills Hornets, 105, defeating the Sharks, 81. Last year's reigning premiers are in trouble, and Chris Bryant, 27 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, 11 from 17 shooting, and a cool 3 from 5 from three-point land. This guy's shooting at 60%, and he's shooting threes too. So, man, respect that. I call him Mr. Efficient. Easy cheese, as they say. Now, Ish Sanders also 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. I'm soft on the Hornets. They are actually my NBL1 East team. And, man, if they can get production like this, Mitchell Smith, 15 points in 15 minutes. Saxon Orsini, 15 points in 15 minutes. And, man, if Pat Moore, Moss, and those boys can support Chris and Ish, this team's going to be dangerous. I kind of have them sneaking into the top 4. I don't know why, but just believe in Chris and Ish. Those 2 boys, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get a minimum, probably about 50 points. And if they can get production from the rest of their teammates, this team's going to be dangerous. Brian Williams scoring 22 points there for the Sharks, continuing his fine form. Now, the Sharks, as I mentioned, they're one of those teams in that dogfight for the 8 and last year's premiers, man. So it's going to be interesting to see how they finish out the seasons. Now, tomorrow's games, we've got 3 interesting games. Maitland Mustangs up against the Penrith Panthers. Manly Seagulls up against the Bankstown Bruins. Sydney Comets up against the Central Coast Crusaders. I pretty much ranked these games from my 3 to 1. 3, I got Maitland Mustangs and Penrith Panthers. Man, if you're Penrith, you're going through it at the moment. You just got pumped by 41 points against Manly, and you see Maitland Mustangs on a back-to-back, and that's going to be tough. But it's going to be interesting to see how Maitland on a road trip, Bankstown, then Penrith, how these boys sort of play and how well they slept. Can Penrith cause the upset? I doubt it, but it's going to be interesting to see. Next game, I got Manly Seagulls up against the Bankstown Bruins. And the reason why I say this game is Manly's flying high, consolidating a top 4 spot. But this is a must-win game for the Bankstown Bruins. Norths won, Sydney Comets won. They got another game tomorrow. So if they lose this game, that top 8 spot's kind of be creeping away. And I love watching Manly play. Mason Bragg, told you, probably one of my favourite players watching in this league. Or hustle, or heart, gets his teammates involved, and he's more happier with an assist than a bucket. And you could actually see it in his game too. So, and you can't cheat that, if that makes sense. You can just tell when someone is more like they have that in their game. And man, this team, I think last year, one of the bottom feeders struggled last year, and now injected a lot of talent. Jonas Harper, my Smokies, Manly Seagulls. The game of the day, the Sydney Comets up against the Central Coast Crusaders. I told you, man, Sydney Comets, I have them fighting with North for that last spot. And if Bawali Bayless can stay fit, this team's dangerous. This team is really, really dangerous. I think they were hot at the start of the season. Then he got hurt and kind of messed up their season a bit. But he gave Anthony Mundine and a few of those younger boys a chance, more minutes, and they delivered. So if this team can get it right, and Christian Akuso, if he can deliver like that every game, Aubrey Kai coming back, good things there for Sydney Comets. Now, my love of the game question of the week for NBL1 East fans, I need you to help me rank these top 5 MVP candidates. I've got Mandro Worthy there for the North Basketball. I've got William Hickey from Albury Wodonga Bandits. Chris Bryant from Hills Hornets. William Cranston Lown, because for the Maitland Mustangs, he's the reigning MVP. His team's up there, so you can't fault that. And Mason Bragg for the Manly Seagulls. I'm going to drop their stats So please let me know who you think is the MVP favorite. Thank you for tuning in.